Hello, I am back. This is for part two of my leukemia videos. Um, Thought I'd step up the production a little more. Uh, Again, though, I'm probably just gonna talk through this and not edit it, but so I'm gonna probably say some stupid stuff, make up some words. That's what I do. This part, uh, I was going to talk about the first 30 days of my uh, treatment. So I was in the hospital. They admitted me on June 9th, and then I was in the hospital till uh, January or July 4th, I think it was. I could be wrong. It could be a couple days off, but somewhere around there. And I also wanted to bring up, I didn't say it in the last video, but I wanted to say that this is this is all personal. It's my story, so it happened to me, and it could go different for any other person. That's probably the biggest thing is everybody is completely different, and things will happen differently to every single every single person. It's hard to uh, for everyone to act and or react to everything the same way, and um, but if there's anyone sort of similar to me, I don't know, like physically or maybe the same symptoms, and maybe they could relate to any of this, maybe it'd help or something. But just wanted to say that, get it out of the way, because I completely forgot to talk about that in the last video. And also, if anybody had any questions on the last video that I didn't address, let me know. That too. Or on this video. Just let me know. Put it in the comments. Alright, so first I wanted to talk about the pain. Obviously, I went in with those mouth sores that I was talking about, and they were really, really bad. I had mouth sores in the back of my throat, down my throat it felt like, on my lips, on my tongue. I basically could not eat anything solid whatsoever. Barely drink water. What they were trying to get me to do was at least drink one Ensure little protein shake a day, and I could barely even do that. Like maybe half of one. Like it was so hard to get anything down. Like taking meds in the morning sucked. Taking meds at night sucked. Like it was the worst pain the whole time I was there. And then bone marrow biopsies. So I didn't quite know what this was when I was told I was going to get one, but basically they take, it sounds scary, it's not as bad as it sounds, but it's still pretty painful. So they take a giant, the first thing, you lay on your stomach, they take some lidocaine and numb up your, like right above your butt crack on your like hip bone there, and they lidocaine that area up really good, and then they take a giant needle and like drill into your bone and take bone marrow out. And then sometimes they've done this, they've popped a piece of that bone out too to to analyze that, but there's a couple times where they haven't done that. I still get these. I just had one yesterday actually. I get these in the hospital. The first 30 days I got maybe two, I think, and then I had one like another like month later, and then like 6 months later. I've had, I don't even know how many now, but maybe 6 or 7 of them total. But the more you have, the more you get used to it. I think this last one I just had was, it was so much less painful than the first one, or the first few I had. Um, Next thing I wanted to talk about was sleeping. I slept a lot, mostly out of boredom, but uh, when I wasn't sleeping, I was also not in much pain. So there's that. And a lot of the meds they put you onto will just knock you out. Um, for the pain, they gave me a lot of, I think it was oxycodone is the one I was taking, and I take that and pass out immediately. So I slept a lot, watched Food Network a lot. Um, I figured since I couldn't eat, I guess I'd watch people make food. It doesn't sound right, but for some reason that got me. Uh, Everybody was making fun of me because of that, but oh well, I liked it. Um, let's see. Visitors. I did have a lot of visitors come by. A lot of family, a lot of friends. The first couple weeks. The first couple weeks, it was nice having everybody come by, say hi. Um, and I felt bad because I think a couple weeks after, um, I started needing to be alone because I started my chemo the second or yeah, the first week I was in there. I think they immediately started me on chemo, and then about a week and a half later, I started feeling terrible. So that's when all my numbers started dropping because of the chemo. Um, and so I told people not to come visit me anymore. But I'm also a very lone wolf type person. I don't like being around people too much. Uh, I like being alone for the most part. So um, I just felt a little more comfortable being alone, so I didn't have visitors come by. But obviously, if somebody else, likes people coming by, they probably feel more comfortable with visitors there all the time. But not me. So it was nice to have my alone time, um, especially when I was dealing with all the pain and stuff. Plus, when you're another thing is when you're in a lot of pain and you're laying there just like the last thing you want is to have your friends and family seeing you like that. So that's another reason I probably didn't want people around. But speaking of the chemo, so I believe it was 7 straight days of like this one chemo, and then 3 days of this like really strong chemo, and it was like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing. And I feel like when I was going through the chemo, which would only be like an hour infusion a day, they just plug it into your IV. Um, first I want to say they put this PICC line in me through my arm. I still have like a scar here. Let me see if I could change this to that. There's like some holes or some scars here from where they put the PICC lines, and they ran a PICC line through my arm up here to like my neck and then down into my heart, and that IV would just go like straight, like everything would just go straight into my heart. It was crazy. Um, yeah, so that was fun. It was fun dangling that in front of my sister, and she'd get all sick and grossed out. Um, then, so they gave me chemo through that. Um, and then I'd say maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks later, my hair started falling out. And then you just shave it. That's one thing I didn't like is having a bald head. I've never had a bald head. And so, like when you lay back in a leather chair and your head sticks to it, it's like the most annoying thing. But nothing you can do about that. Um, I know a lot of like my insurance company reached out to me about getting me a wig and stuff like that, and I was like, it'll come back eventually. I'll just deal with it for now. But the chemo made me feel like exhausted, and then slept even more. But this happened like a week and a half after I actually had the chemo. So when you first take the chemo, you're kind of just like, oh well, I feel great, I feel fine, nothing's, I just, it's whatever. But then, yeah, a couple weeks later, then you start feeling it. Let's see, another thing I want to talk about is walking. My doctors encouraged me to walk every day. My nurses would yell at me to go and walk. Um, I did pretty good at this, but there were some days I didn't uh, feel like it. I just laid in bed. But definitely walking helps a lot. Uh, the second time I went to the hospital, I walked every day. Felt 1,000 times better. um, Food. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really eat much. One Ensure a day, maybe. Um, and my mouth was just so bad. Uh, One mouth sore actually was there so long it formed a hole in the back of my throat. Um, I don't have a picture of it, but I somewhere I'm sure I have a picture. Uh, if you want to see it, maybe I'll put it in the next video. But there's actually a hole like in the back of my throat. Um, it doesn't like go into my body or anything, but it's just a little like skin flap with a hole in it now. And then on my tongue, let's see if you can see it, but I have like a dent in my tongue now. And you can't really see it, but that also I had a sore on my tongue for like the whole month I was there, and that like put a hole in my tongue. It was crazy. And then let's see, another thing I could talk about was meropenem. So I was given this antibiotic called meropenem. Not too sure what it does, but I'm allergic to it. Uh, I got literally a full body rash um, from head to toe, completely red. It was crazy. Uh, Again, I didn't look up a picture of that either. I just have a couple pictures that I was going to show. Um, Another one is I just wanted to thank my nurses and doctors because they were really helpful. Um, they listened to me when I needed them. They made me laugh. They talked to me when I needed to talk to someone. Um, I don't remember having a like bad nurse or doctor. Um, Everyone I talked to was was amazing. Shout out to Banner, uh, the University of Arizona Banner Hospital. Awesome people there for sure. Um, there was one time I did get a medication like too fast and had like some kind of reaction to it, like a headache or something. But other than that, it was perfect. uh, Another thing is I lost a bunch of weight. I went from 260 to 220 from basically starving. Let's see, another thing is tell your nurses and doctors everything. Um, yeah, every single thing. Like, if you're hurting anywhere, tell them. If you have a reaction to anything, tell them. Because the sooner the better. Sooner they can possibly either find out what it is and fix it. Uh, if you have like a rash on your booty hole, tell them because they've probably seen worse. Um, and then the last thing I want to talk about was just keeping yourself busy, because that's mostly the worst thing about the first 30 days in there is being bored. It's very, very boring. Because when you're sleeping, you're just laying there. You know, you can go walk around, but that's only like I'm 30 minutes out of the day, and then you can have visitors over, uh, play games. It wasn't really my cup of tea. Every time someone tried to come over and play like games with me, I'd just sit there like, I don't know what I'm doing. Um, and yeah, I just watch a bunch of Food Network. So if you got a laptop, bring a laptop, Nintendo Switch or something. The couple other times I went to the hospital, I brought a computer and like a Nintendo Switch, and it made such a difference. Um, but yeah, the first time was just super boring. But it's basically all I wanted to talk about in this one that I could remember. Of course, I did have some pictures. Like this one was from third day of chemo that I found. This one was, oh yeah, my eye patch. So I forgot that my platelets, I believe, got so low one time that I started having um, these like spots pop up in my eye, and I ended up having to go to like an eye doctor and have them check it out, but it was nothing serious. It ended up fixing itself, and but I got to wear an eye patch for a while. That was pretty cool. You can kind of see a sore in my mouth, but not really. It's um, here's a couple from my Instagram, and again the eye patch. Here's me looking all skinny and bald and gross looking. And then here's where that PICC line was at. You can kind of see they wrapped it thing around my arm. Sharon, yeah. So I was bald for a while, and then started getting my hair back, and started filling up a bit too because I was really skinny. But yeah, and here was September 4th. So from June, July, August, September, I started getting my hair back a little bit. And then here it was a month later, it was even more. So it starts coming back pretty quick. It's not too slow. But yeah, I guess I'll end this video. It's almost at 20 minutes. And thanks for watching if you watched the whole thing. Again, if you have any questions, or if you want to comment on anything, let me know. I'd love to hear if anyone is watching this that found this video because they're curious, because they're going through it or something, or if they want to like say something to me or ask me any questions, it'd be cool. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.